The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And we are beginning with the cop killer, Guy Rivera. I hope you enjoyed your fake short-term victory of beating the murder charge. But, Mr. Rivera, I guess you forgot the jury did convict you in Queens, New York, in terms of manslaughter, and you have been sentenced to 115 years in prison. And from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely hope that each day for you is torture and the worst experience that any human being can tolerate. I hope that's your experience each and every day for the next whatever amount of years that you live, but every 24 hours, I hope that is the cycle for you. The First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, calling it as it is, blasting that coward Jimmy Kimmel, and that's exactly what she's calling him. We did the story as soon as I heard about this. We did this at midnight last night. I knew what was going to be brewing as it relates to this situation. So we're going to deal with what happened Saturday night at the Correspondents' Dinner, and also here in New York City, a man a year ago, bodega owner, told a local TV station that he was concerned for his life with the crime and the shoplifting. Well, guess what? That man has been killed, and even Elon Musk tweeting about that. Dominic Carter here with you folks. We see every line is lit up right now, but the number to reach me is 800-848-9222. Now, there is one caller in particular, number 5. I don't know how many times I can say this. I will never ever take your telephone call. So you are wasting a line, and let's clear him of this line so that we can get a caller that makes sense. You will never in your life be on with me. Period. End of story. 800-848-9222. Jimmy Kimmel, who's not funny at all. Jimmy Kimmel. Let's rewind. So he does a skit. Supposed to be funny. He's never funny. This is before the Correspondents' Dinner. And in the audience, he has Melania Trump, the First Lady, the President of the United States. This is all a skit. This is in advance of what happened on Saturday. So you talk about bad timing. For Jimmy Kimmel, the timing does not get any worse. But that's why I have always said he's not funny. For a comedian, it's all about timing. And you idiot joked about something that could have come true a day or two later. This is Jimmy Kimmel allegedly calling himself funny, directing his comments at the First Lady of the United States of America.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
So, an expected widow. What if someone said that about your wife if you're married, Jimmy Kimmel? I think you are. What if somebody said that about your mother? You have the glow of an expected widow. You are pathetic and disgusting. I get it. You know that your 15 minutes of fame is over and you're trying to ride this wave as long as you can. But it's disgusting. The First Lady tweeting Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. the First Lady 1,000% correct. This is how Fox News covered this.
Right now, the First Lady, Melania Trump, apparently calling on ABC to fire Jimmy Kimmel. This appears to be in response to a segment that Kimmel aired days before the White House Correspondents' Dinner. In that segment, Kimmel said the First Lady had the glow of a, quote, expectant widow. And now we have this response. The First Lady writing on X the following, quote, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family is not comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. It is time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community, end quote.
Now let's keep it real, America. If ABC did the same type of skit about Obama, how long do you think that would be tolerated? A New York minute. Bye-bye. You would be gone. We all know why. We don't even have to state it. You did that same skit about Obama. Bye-bye. About precious First Lady Michelle Obama. Bye-bye. But Jimmy Kimmel would never do that. He takes the luxury to do it against President Trump because he thinks he can continue to make his sorry career off the back of the President of the United States of America. To show you the type of man. So the nut is arraigned a few hours ago in this situation from Saturday night to show you the character of the President of the United States. This is yet, the third attempt on his life? What does he do the next morning? He calls up the reporters that were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner to make sure that they are okay.
John, your phone rang early this morning?
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after, with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents' Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
And so the president is going to go forth with this event, and that's a good thing. But I think it's safe to say that we may not ever see again the president, vice president, and House Speaker in the same room. It could have been a total disaster, but as I said on the Midnight Show, there was never a possibility of this nut even getting near the room, even near the president. They would have scattered his brains right there at the door if he got that close with the sharpshooters. The president's lead body man would have issued the shoot to kill shot, the command, and that would have been it. Game over for this nut job. What's his name? Carl Allen, whatever his name may be. Photogenic family in California. Whatever's in the dark shall come to light. I hope you're proud of yourself, nut job. The pressure and what's going to happen to your family now because of what you tried to do to the President of the United States. Friday was supposed to be Caroline Leavitt's last day at the White House. She's expected to deliver her second child. I believe it's her second child any minute now. But because of all this nonsense, showed up to work today.
As I told many of you on Friday afternoon, I thought that would be my last time taking your questions until after my maternity leave. But given the attempted assassination of the president and, quote, top Trump administration officials, as the depraved shooter noted in his manifesto at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner on Saturday evening, I felt it was prudent to be here today to answer your questions and inform the American people about how the administration is responding to yet another attempt on President Trump's life.
And so, that Caroline Leavitt. So we're about to start with your telephone calls. If you're trying to get through, just wait a minute or two and then hit redial. I want you to hear the other controversy. This was my lead at midnight. Norah O'Donnell, right? CBS, 60 Minutes. did something despicable. All of us journalists have done this. I try not to do it. You hide behind the words. You're a coward, and you hide behind the words of someone else to go after a newsmaker. She tried to make her career, her dying career, which is on life support. She tried to save her career last night on 60 Minutes at the expense of the President of the United States. But it blew up in her face.
So-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and I read the manifesto. He's a sick person. But you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and
these are the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in the other thing in the manifesto.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's what you call check and mate. I want to start with your telephone calls, but speaking in D.C. right now, we're going to take you live. The Justice Department, their news conference, the acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is speaking right now. Let's join in.
10 years is consecutive to any other sentence imposed. Just to go through very quickly the timeline, which many of you in this room already know. The defendant, Allen, made a hotel reservation at the Washington Hilton for April 24th through April 26th. On April 21st of this year, he traveled by train from Los Angeles to Chicago and then from Chicago to Washington, D.C. On April 24th, he arrived in Washington, D.C. at approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon and checked into the Washington Hilton. Approximately at 8:40 on the night of April 25th, Allen approached a security checkpoint on the terrace level of the hotel, which is, again, a floor above where the dinner was taking place. He ran through the magnetometer holding a long gun. As he did so, U.S. Secret Service personnel assigned to the checkpoint heard a loud gunshot. One Secret Service officer was shot in the chest, but was wearing a ballistic vest that worked. This heroic officer who was hit fired 5 times at Allen, who was not shot, but fell to the ground and was promptly arrested. I want to thank everybody who worked tirelessly on Saturday, Sunday, and continuing today. This includes
we are monitoring the acting Attorney General's news conference. We've got to take a break, and we are coming right back.